Hey guys, what's happening? This is Forgo Nation. Today we're going to do a little more Colossus gameplay, but before we get into that, we got this little event shop thing going on here, and check this out. No, we definitely don't want to look at that. Look at this, guys. 99 cents, more or less $1 for 200 energy, $1 for 50 bios, $1 for 100 feathers. Now, honestly, guys, I mean, I wouldn't do any of these things. The only one in here that I would maybe consider is the X genes here. That's really the only one I would think about. I mean, I wouldn't do the crystals. I mean, it's it's pretty funny, man. At 99 cents for any of these, it's pretty interesting. But I mean, look, if you guys need this and you got a spare dollar, I guess go ahead and queue up a little bit. But honestly, you can farm the bios from Shadowland pretty easy. You'll definitely get energy. Feathers are pretty easy to come by. Macron crystals aren't too bad. Band's pretty easy. No, I mean, all these things are pretty easy to come by. 1,000,000 gold. I mean, give me a break. You get 1,000,000 gold pretty easy for the most part, for most players. The boost points, I mean, yeah, I mean, it helps, but it's not really a big deal. Really, the X Gene is really the best deal of them all. If I was going to buy anything, this would be what I would buy, because you can't get these things anywhere else in the damn game. So this could prove helpful for you, but it's completely up to you guys. This is the only one I'd recommend. I sure as hell wouldn't recommend those grade 1 type enhancement kits. I mean, I know it's just $1, but honestly, really, guys, it's not really even worth it to me. I mean, if you think the crystals are, maybe that. But yeah, just thought I'd give you guys my take on it. Now let's talk about Colossus. And what can we say about Colossus, man? This dude is awesome. Now, I've changed the build a little bit, you guys. He has 20,000 physical attack. He has 126 attack speed, 49 crit rate, and 142 critical damage. Now, we're going to do a Shadowland run, and the stats that you're looking at are the exact stats that he's going to have. But when we face World Boss, we're going to be bringing in some strikers that are going to offer critical damage and crit rate. So you might as well add about 24% crit rate to this crit rate, which is going to give him, what, 74%, which is pretty much max. And he's going to get 40% more critical damage from those strikers, which is going to put him at 182 critical damage. So when he's facing the World Boss, keep in mind that he's got about 74% crit rate, and he's going to have 180% critical damage when he's facing the World Boss. He has more or less max Nord defense and max skill cooldown. All of his gears are 20, and I can still make him a little bit stronger if I take that first gear at least up to 25, because you'd be getting that physical attack stat. Whoops. He has all 5-star Urus. And all of his skills are at 6. And this guy really is freaking awesome, guys. He really did get the most love, in my opinion, in this update as far as the uniforms are concerned. He really, I mean, it's like him, Cyclops, and Emma is definitely last. Not much of an upgrade on that one. But anyways, but Colossus got a lot of love. I mean, having all this all defense down that applies to World Boss, this just makes him an amazing striker. Not to mention, when he is a striker, he gives a 10% energy attack bonus and a 5% fire damage bonus as a striker to your main damage dealer. So that's pretty freaking awesome, guys. That is freaking awesome. He has a stage 5 Power of Angry Hawk set, and he has a fire damage with 180% damage proc. And one of the reasons I'm going to be running with all them strikers to offer that critical damage and crit rate is because this is actually a pretty weak build. The damage proc isn't bad. I mean, that's good fire damage, 39%, that's good. 180% damage proc, that's good. Cold damage isn't doing jack for him. But he has no crit rate, no critical damage, nothing. So we're going to throw in them strikers to really help his damage, because that's going to make a lot of difference in the amount of power that he has. And he has a normal ranked uni, so we can still take him up to Mythic. So guys, let's take him into Shadowland, and then let's take him into some more boss, and let's see how he does. Let's rock and roll. So we're going to get this party started with floor 72 against the Destroyer relay guys, and this is by far one of the easiest relays in the game to do. But we're going to do this with his Colossus' own leadership, which isn't giving any kind of attack buff. And yeah, guys, he's going to tear this freaking crap up, man. So let's get into it. Booyah! And guys, this is a huge bump from what he was. Huge bump. Before, with that other uniform, guys, there's no way, and granted you have to be a villain to do this, but there is no way he could have done this high floor. No way in hell with that other uniform. No way, guys. He couldn't on my account, that's for sure. He was in like the 40s or 50s, and he's doing 72. That's a huge, huge damage bump. And people are wondering, is this uniform worth it? Is it a must-buy uniform? Well, it's like this, guys. It makes him an amazing striker, and that is very, very valuable, man. That is very valuable, especially to someone that wants to do well in World Boss. That is very valuable. So, yeah, plus it makes Colossus a whole lot stronger. Adding almost 30 floors to Shadowland for this guy, I'd say to be more of a fair estimate would be about 20, because whenever I was running before, he didn't have Urus and he didn't have this 180% damage proc, so I had to take that into account. But this thing definitely added, just by equipping it, it definitely added about 20 floors. That's a hell of a lot, man. That's a big improvement in the amount of damage that he could do. Colossus really did get the love, and he's so easy to play. Honestly, guys, I'm not even trying to time a proc. You want to keep the proc on the 5, but honestly, if you get it on the 4 or the 3, it does pretty decent damage, man, because you're getting that all defense down on all those skills. It's freaking awesome. I mean, this guy is sweet. Very sweet. Even though they took his immunity away on one of his skills from the other uniform, he's still freaking awesome. I mean, having that 50% decreased damage received from supervillains and superheroes is making him a freaking must-have for PvP and Timeline. I mean, I've been using him in Timeline, guys. Hell yeah, make my Thanos or make my Jean or Captain Marvel or whoever I'm playing a whole lot tankier. That is freaking amazing. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think he is a must-buy uniform. And look at this, guys. This is stage 72, floor 72. He done it with 50 seconds left. He could have easily went quite a bit higher. So huge improvement. So let's get into some World Boss action. Okay, guys, so we're going to run with the same team that I ran with her before in the last video. We're going to be using White Fox leadership for that 60% damage up to supervillains, because she applies to all allies that have leadership, and Colossus has leadership, which is awesome. And she has that 40% increase to all debuff effect. And since all defense down is a debuff effect, she's increasing his all debuff, his all defense down by 40% and increasing their duration, guys. So it's even lasting longer on top of being buffed, which is awesome, making his all defense down massive. And we're having Shuri for that 45% damage dealt to supervillains and that 35% damage decrease from supervillains. So on top of Colossus having the 50% decreased damage from supervillains, on top of having the 30% decreased damage from supervillains from his uniform, and having Shuri's 35% decreased damage from supervillains, it's making this guy a freaking tank. And the cool thing about Thanos is we're doing stage 15, guys, and you know the strikers we got? We got Elsa, we got Elektra, Crossbones, and Wong, and all those characters are offering 6% crit rate and 10% critical damage apiece. And then we got Anti-Venom in there for those heals, guys. You always want to have the heals. You never know. Sometimes you get caught in tornadoes. It does happen. Even Colossus, being as tanky as he is, he can definitely take damage, especially against Thanos. Now, here's where the fun really begins. The all defense down won't be applying now. So he's only going to be getting that 60% damage from supervillains from Shuri and White Fox. But guys, he's still going to tear it up. You know, to go from what he could before, I mean, seriously, guys, there is no way in Sam hell he could have done this. He couldn't even come close in that other uniform. No way in hell. So even though that all defense down isn't even applying right now, he's still doing pretty damn good. He's not going to be no OP world boss killer, guys. But he's going to be good enough to get it done. But honestly, his value really lies as a striker and having him in PvP, especially in timeline battle. I mean, that's really where his value shines. But you guys can see he still does pretty respectful damage, even though that all defense down is not applying. And we're not using any OP strikers here. So, I mean, guys, he could go even higher than this for sure. I imagine we could be doing stage 20 with this guy. Yeah, especially if I had him built up, and and I know I had a rage on him before, but I wanted to show you guys what he could do with just a regular damage proc. He's still pretty awesome with a regular damage proc for sure, man. Watch out for the blue balls here. Yeah, I really didn't need to switch, but I don't know, I got a little nervous there. Didn't want to die. Well, Thanos, man, he can hurt you. You gotta watch out for him. We'll get him though. Come on, buddy. Hey, where's my proc? Oh, there it is. Bastard came a little late. I mean, Colossus has great movement speed. Old big boy can move around pretty damn good. And honestly, guys, I try to get the damage proc on the 5, but sometimes it lands on the 3, and that 3 actually does pretty good damage, and so does the 4. I mean, honestly, I'm not really even worrying about timing a proc that much. I just try to start with the 5. There, the proc landed on the 5, and it did pretty good damage. And then I hit the 3 to get that 2-second immunity. Then I hit the 4, because you want that immunity right on that 4, because at the very beginning of the 4, he isn't in an iframe. He goes into an iframe. He's got a bit of a hesitation, and he goes to the side, and then he goes into a partial iframe. So if you have that immunity up, you won't be taking any damage. And then use the 2 for that iframe. And yeah, he's pretty awesome. I don't really use the 1 too much. And he definitely gets done. Now, we're not going to finish this fight, guys. I'm sorry. I would love to do the clear, but I want to get them blast books. I'm trying to work up to hopefully getting a Doctor Strange tier 3, especially after getting those rages. Now I'm really going to be pushing it. And if you guys, want to see Doctor Strange with a damage proc, I'll be happy to do that as well whenever I get him to tier 3. But, hell yeah, we got to stop. Okay. So, guys, Colossus is amazing. I think this is a must-buy uniform, again, for the striker bonus. Again, for the PvP potential that this guy has, especially helping your OP damage dealers in timeline. This guy's amazing. And he can do some pretty decent world bosses. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.